Yeah.
Just want to put in the comments where you're all popping in from. It's always lovely to hear where you're from, which parts of the globe. We know Nira's in Sweden at the moment. She's enjoying herself in sunnier climes. There's Karen in Germany. Margaret looks like she's on some tropical beach somewhere. I don't know if she really is or whether that's just a background, but you never know. It's making me feel nice and summery. So Montana. Welcome everyone. As always, we just give it until 3 or 4 minutes past, let everyone arrive. People don't like being first to the party, do they? Wants to be in Hawaii, but in Idaho. That's fair enough. Looks a bit windy there, where that background looks interesting though. Colour of the sea. So we've got Texas. It's like we've got lots of people from the US. Our guest today is in Germany. She will be speaking English, thankfully for us. The problem with nowadays technology, I wouldn't be surprised if soon on Zoom you'll be able to press a little button at the bottom and it'll say bilingual, and you'll be able to hear it in whatever language you want. I'm sure that's with AI that'll be available very soon, which would be amazing because that'll be open the world to us, won't it? Imagine speaking Japanese. Well, welcome, people. Do put in the comments where you're popping in from. It's always good to see where you're coming from. Good to see some familiar faces. Yeah, today we've got a guest. Something different from once. It's quite a good timing actually, because I've had a bit of a sore throat for a few weeks, and don't think my voice would hold out for an hour. So saying Norwich, sunny. It's sunny in Norwich. Blimey. Not quite so sunny in Devon, unfortunately. So we'll give it another couple of minutes. Healing wishes, thank you very much. On the mend, that's the important bit. Sunny in southern Oregon. Nice. I like it when it's sunny. The thing about the sunshine, when it does eventually come out, it's just so beautiful, isn't it? Just like, oh. Yeah, the winters seem to be very, very cold nowadays, but not as cold as they used to be, and just damp. It's just in England, it's just been damp, damp, damp. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to that glorious sunshine. So, hello from the City of Angels. Love to all. Give it another one more minute, and then I'll introduce our guest. Actually, I should let me just need to make a co-host. Just making you co-host, Karen, so when you need to share, you can. Just make sure that works. Yep. Perfect. And as always say, these things, the recording only records the people that are talking. So if you can be on screen, it's always lovely for people to see faces rather than just like a screen of names. So you won't get in trouble. You won't be recorded unless you actually say something. So if you can be on camera, it's always beautiful. And then our guests can see your beautiful faces and see your reactions. And nothing worse than talking to a just a blank wall. If you can be on camera, please do. It's always good to. No one's going to judge your hairstyle or what frock you got on today. Honest. Cool. So we're at 4 minutes past. So welcome everyone. As I was saying earlier, we've got a guest speaker today, all the way from hopefully it's sunny Germany. So Karen Rémy is joining us. So a little introduction. So our guest is I love this. It's a true embodiment mentor and creative principle, exploring the realms of mysticism. That's one of the reasons she's here. Consciousness and the arts. And she was on my podcast recently, and I'll share that with everyone, and that will explain more of the art side of her. She's the mind behind the Soul Aim podcast, so do check that out, where she delves into the sensory, body, and soul journeys. And she's got many skills, but today she's going to share with us her wisdom around archetypal numerology, which I was lucky enough to be on the course when she first did it, and it's absolutely amazing. So what today she's going to do is whet our appetites and give us an overview of it, so you can all go away and go, oh, I must buy this course, and that option's available at the end. So Karen, welcome. How are you?
Hello. Thank you for this beautiful, heartfelt introduction again.
You're welcome.
I'm fine. I've been working in the garden a lot in the sun today, but it's still quite cold here. So it is sunny but cold in Germany.
Right, that's
and I'm looking forward to introduce you to the archetypal numerology. And I'm also I'm happy to I will give you a little introduction, and then I'm also happy to give you like a Q&A question time. So whatever questions are coming up directly, we can dive into that, and you can also get a little a little feeling of what the numerology is about. So I got to the numerology in 2012, so 12 years ago, when I was in a spiritual congress in the south of Germany, and I met a young man, a spiritual guide, and I told him that in my theater, I usually have roles of more like a high priestess. And he looked at me, and just shortly before I had told him my birth date, and he looked at me, smiled, and pulled one tarot card, which was the high priestess, and said, well, no wonder you have that, because that is what you're radiating out into the world. And because my birthday is on the 23rd, so the 2 is the first number that shows up in the German writing. If I was born in the US, it would be a different one. So this is also something that I go on into in the course, that actually what is written counts. So when you change, born in the US, coming to Europe, coming into another writing, you will have a slight changing of how people perceive you. And because our birthday carries the energies of the potentials that we brought into our life. So back to this little story. I was completely blown away about what at this moment he could tell me about my life so far, about feeling always a little bit like the outcast, feeling like not belonging to the world, and being in a very sensitive and hypersensitive connection to nature, but totally overwhelmed by humans, and so on and so on. He told me a lot about that. And for me, it was really this door opener into the spiritual realm, which until that point I really had rejected a lot. Well, Not totally, because I already was brought by a friend to a congress, spiritual congress. So a little bit was still, there was a little opening already, but he opened my interest to the mystics, let's say. And ever since, I've been having numerology in my life and diving deeper into it and having it becoming a part of how I perceive the world as well. So this is a tiny introduction. I would love to just give you an overview of all the things that you can do with numerology. Like just a look over. So I'm not sure if I just should tell it or if I should use also the visuals of the course headlines. What do you feel?
I think the course headlines are beautiful.
Yeah, okay, so I'll go into screen share. That's the wrong page. Here we are. So, in the course overline. So, in the numerology, the interesting thing is that whatever number you have in the world, they all are built from the 10 archetypes from 0 to 9. So, you basically need to know these 10 to be able to dive into a deeper realm. So your birth dates carry a message from your soul. And if you don't know the exact birth time, you can always do a muscle testing or pendulum. So this is also explained in the course. Like I already teased it, like dates, ciphers, and numbers are different in different cultures. So whatever is written, what has been written, counts. Then I call it archetypal numerology because I do connect it to the major arcana, so the big trumps of the tarot, and showing these 10 archetypes with the tarot pictures gives you really a it's visceral to grasp the content of the number. So each one has its own little journey. We start with the 0, the Fool, it's the beginning of the journey. It's about the emotions, about the inner child. The 1 is the magician, like the stroke coming down. It's the impulses, but also the trust into the connection of the divine. The 2 being the high priestess, it's about vision, the clear senses, about being a little bit out of the world, but in as a medium between the higher realms and the world realms. Then the 3 connects to the Empress. It's about creation, it's about planning and growing. Versus the 4 connects to the Emperor, where it's more about structure and responsibility and implementation, bringing it into the ground, into the realm. Then we have 5, the Hierophant or the Pope, being about your inner voice, the timeless wisdom, like the ancient timeless wisdoms. 6 connects to the Lovers. It's about decision making, like the which way to go, which decision is right now, based on the heart and on the divine timing. With the 7, we connect to the chariot, the independence, the self-reliance, and the full cycle. Like we have this development of 7-year cycles that we grow in, that our body resplendishes and so regenerates. And also we have the 7 days of the week. We have the 7 tones of the octave and so on. There's lots of 7s around. Then the 8 connects to justice. It's all about values, self-worth, and new beginnings, because the 8th day is the first day of the next week. And then the 9, the hermit, is about following your inner guidance and speaking truth. So each one of these, I'm going into the depth of what this means. And also, each one of those, when you have this number in your birth date, you bring this potential into your life. When you don't have this at your birth, means that this is like a lifelong learning topic. So this is something to evolve. And when you brought a multiple number, then these are topics that are from before birth, that they are blocked, and they are blocked by oneself. So for me, numerology is also a great tool to see when I'm going into coaching and into healing work, that when I see that a certain theme that pops up has already been brought into life as a blocked theme, so a multiple number theme, then I don't need to do inner child work. So then I'll propose to go into regression, into past life, into the light body, depending on where the root of this theme is. And so therefore, numerology is really very easy tool for all people who are doing healing work and who also work with regression or with different topics, release work and ancestor work, to see, was this already something that this soul brought into this lifetime? Or is it something that appeared in this time, in this life? So it's nice to see where you start. And also with this, like, you just need to ask them for their birth date, and you can see, okay, there is a theme brought into the life. These learning topics, and there are these potentials. So this is just the moment of what we brought into life. From there, everything can change. So each number that you brought as a free number could also be auto-blocked because you have a traumatic experience and you decide not to use this potential anymore. And as well as something that has been brought into life as a blocked topic could be released, so that actually the full potential of this multiple experience in past lifetimes can be lived and used. And also we can gain the potentials, like we can learn the topics that have not been brought already into this lifetime. So this is not a fixed thing that you have to always be that, but it's something that is movable from the very first second of the life. Things can change. It's also something that I like about it. It's more like an analysis of where you start from. But then go back into screen share. You also have things like the healer's triangle. So these energies of 0, 1, and 2, they are present in your birth date. You have a great potential for healing work because you have the emotional capacity to receive people, you get the impulses, and you have the visions to see on a broad level what the theme of other people is, and then you can guide them into opening the right doors for their healing journey. And as well, you find the initiation process of women and men in this development of these archetypes from 1, 2, 3, and 4. So can be found there. Then as well, when we put all the birth ciphers, the birth numbers, into a body chart like that, we can see on the physical level what has been brought as a full energy or like an energetic whole, because this potential, this energy is missing in the birth. So then there is a potential of weaknesses in that body region, in that connected body region. So for the 1, connects to the brain, 2 connects to the vision and the right side of the face, 3 is the planning, the right arm, right shoulder, 4 is implementation, it goes into the bones, the 5 is the ancient wisdom and goes into the right leg, 6 is decision, the spine, sexual organs, 7 is the left leg, 8 is inner worth, inner organs and intestines, and 9 is the communication, connecting to the left arm and shoulder, and 0 is feeling, emotions, and the left side of the face. So there you then get examples with different birth dates about how this shows up. So then next step is that you can also connect that to the life cycles and to the decades, seeing that you in every 7 years and every 10 years you come into another topic, into another number, into another big learning theme. So if you have not have this topic as a learning theme, means you didn't brought it into your life, then you can use these times to really dive into it and to perceive what that actually could be, to experience it, learning by experiences. Then you can find your destiny code, or also called life path. And you can also connect these body charts to relationships. Here you can see how people are bringing the same topic, or if they have a blocked topic, this will always interfere into the relationship dynamic. Then each year has its own energy, and each birthday brings a new energy also for you. And then you can also calculate the energy of each day to see, for example, when you would like to start a course or a journey or a holiday or a marriage. Yes, all of these. And then we have some playful explorations of combining it with human design and gene keys, as well the exploration of runes versus numerology connected to the letters. So I don't see the letters anymore. Where did I put these? Somewhere in here is also a connection of how you connect the numerology to letters, so to names and to product names, to names for your children, and so on, to see what energies in there. So this is what I give in there. And for German-speaking people, the course is both in English and in German. So, but I don't know if there's any German-speaking people around here. So that's the course, and that is what I show there. And now I would like to invite you to ask questions or to give me a birth date so I can just, respond or see what I can pull out of that.
Who's going to be brave and give us their birth date? Yep, someone's put on there. Who wants to speak?
89.
Sorry, what was that again?
8/24/89. For here in the United States.
Did you get that, Karen? Look, you're on mute. Are you on mute at the moment, Karen?
I was slow because I just had a sip of tea. Could you say it again, or could you type it into the chat?
Yeah, for the United States, it was 8/24/89. I can type it too.
And then I also need the birth time, so hours and minutes. Great, thank you. So, and there was another one. Oh, so I've got many. Okay. Woohoo! So I start with Ariel because you also gave your voice. So what I see there is that the 1900 is like the overall energy. It's like the century energy is more, it's not connected to the soul, it's more like a overall energy that we came into. So we chose, I guess all of us chose to come 1900, not 2000. I'm not sure because I don't see the faces, but of all of you, but so this 1900 is the overall energy of this century, which was based on the impulses and the speaking truth, finding your, like, following your path and speaking truth, versus from 2000 on, it's based on the visions and the emotions. It's a completely different energy, but it's not brought into the potentials. It's just the time and space energy that we decided to incarnate into. So so with Ariel, what I see here, you have 3 8s, means that the 8 is a very intense topic. It's a great potential, but it also brings in a theme that you brought from before this lifetime into this life, which is connected about worth. It's the values that are in the outer world, as well as the inner values. And with a multiple 8, there is this flipping from one side to the other of values. So either you have a lot of money or you don't have money. Or sometimes you may have the longing to collect a lot of stuff or a lot of experiences to compensate something that you don't feel the value inside. So the question, maybe you know this also, that you try to generate value on the outside because there's a feeling on the inside of a lack. So this is connected to this multiple 8. And it often comes from past life where there might be a topic about having had to judge, because 8 is also about the justice. It's also about finding the right balance of the values, and what values do you stand for. What you have brought as a potential is the 2. So the possibility to connect to your higher senses and to receive visions. So I guess you are quite a visual person as well, like having images when you maybe meditate. And the 4 is giving you the possibility to putting things into structure, to implement what you want to bring. And another potential is the 9, so the possibility to communicate, to speak your truth. Then the 1 as well is a multiple number. So this could bring the tension of naivety and distrusting. So it's not the central, I'm grounded in myself, I have my higher alignment, but the multiple 1 brings you these flowing from one side to the other of this feeling of I should not trust, and then maybe giving trust because you have to give people a chance, and then learning, being re-traumatized in the feeling of you're not able to trust. So you smile a lot. So I kind of, yeah, you know what I talk about.
I'm good with astrology, and I'm a Scorpio rising, and trust issues all the way. But then, like with the Virgo and Libra placement, Libra has a lot to do with the justice, and that all holds resonance, I would say.
Yeah. So this is something that I can just like read easily out of just, and I'm not going into the depth. I'm just scratching the surface. So also because so many other people send their birth dates, so I'd like to have a little look at them as well, to just give a feeling about what you can bring. So let's see where it started. You were really fast in writing. So Bridget, starting. Hi. So you were born also in the US, so you also have the month in the front. So your first energy that you emanate is 3, which is connected to the Empress. So it's an energy of creativity, of planning, of strong female energy also. And so this is something people will perceive you as a yes, a strong woman, as well as a creative energy. And but you brought a multiple 3. So you emanate this energy, and at the same time, internally, there's a conflict about being a strong woman, about female energy, and about also going into this position of being the queen in your own life. So this can guide to either or very strong feminine appearance, but like a rigidity inside, like a being not in the female juices, or can have brought you in your life to showing up as not so female, like trying to reduce your female expression so that this theme reduces. So, and at the same time, you're perceived as a woman and as a strong woman, but there's a conflict in there. And what you brought as a potential is the 5. So the 5 being your inner voice and the potential to connect into ancient wisdom, into timeless wisdom, into mysticism, and to speak, to also teach from there, as well as with the 4 to implement this wisdom into your life, into your work. And you've got 2 other multiple numbers that you brought into your lifetime, which is the 1 and the 6. So again, like I already said, in the 1 is this falling from the trust into the distrust into naivety, and theme of not being able to trust, as well as 6, not trusting your own decisions and being afraid to take decisions because of the consequences they may have. So these are all topics that you brought into this lifetime. So when you do healing work on them and you try to solve it in this life, you will never come to the root because you brought them already with you. So this is really some things that you can heal in past life regressions or in ancestral work, because there it's in soul retrieval, like bringing back these parts that have been, mostly what I experience is that a multiple number is actually connected to something where your soul decided. So it's not a block that somebody else did on you. It's something where the soul decided, I will never do that again. So it's often there's a tendency to think, somebody did something to me. And it's not that. It's in all these lifetimes that we go through, which are classes of the soul, we have had experiences, and some of them were nice and some were not so nice. And with the not so nice ones, often we feel like the soul feels like, okay, this I don't want to experience again. But with this decision, we cut off a very big potential, because with this experience, even though it has been bad, there's a huge wisdom coming. And with deciding not to put that apart and to leave it in that lifetime, means that you the soul cut off a part of it. This is soul fragmentation happening. And so with soul retrieval, with past life regression, you can bring back that part and integrate it into the here and now, so that you feel you are more whole. So, and what I just said about the past life and this is connected to all multiple numbers. So it's not just directly to you, but it's to all. Then the next one on the road is Margaret. And Margaret, you brought almost all the possible numbers with you. So now I see another thing. You brought almost all of that, but you haven't brought the 2 and the 8. So these topics are topics for you that have, I think they showed up again and again and again, so that you can integrate and learn them. So 2 is about visions and being able to visualize what you want, and then to create the visions. And maybe when you meditate, maybe you don't have, or maybe by now you have developed it, but you may in the beginning not have been such a visual person. And the direct connection to the clear senses may also not have been there directly. You may have developed it, because we all can develop it, but it's not something that you brought into this lifetime based on your numerology. And also the 8. So the question of what is your value system and what is your worth? So what worth, what values do you stand for? What values do you want to create, have in your life? And what is your own worth? Is something that you had to learn in this lifetime, because you didn't bring the sense of that into life with you. Yeah. And so I don't know, because you're not a teenager, so you had a lot of different cycles that you had the possibility to learn that. I guess you have not come yet to the 8th decade, or maybe you have, and you look very young. So I actually I can say that you haven't come to the 8th decade because of your birthday here. But so this 8 and 2 are things that I guess you've felt again and again and again and again in your life, because these numbers that we didn't bring are the numbers that our soul wants to learn this lifetime. So we got this possibility to experience that. Okay, so I'm just picking some things. I'm not telling everything about each birthday, because you gave me quite a lot of them. So I'm just going a little bit through, and I'm giving some jewels to each one, also to show you what you can do when what you can perceive from.
Thank you, Karen. That was pretty spot on.
Thank you. So Jazia didn't give me a birth date, so I'm going to do. There's a birth date. So But anyways, I'm going to do something else, which is the destiny code. So a destiny code is adding up all the numbers of the birth date without the time. And there we do include the century and the millennium. So we have Jazir has a destiny code of 3 from 30. So adding up 5 plus 7 plus 1 plus 9 plus 9 plus 4. I come to 30 and I'm adding up these 30 again. And so 3 from 30, there's the destiny code, the life path is all about creativity and emotions. So it's about learning how to go into a creative expression, into the strong female energy, creative female energy, Shakti energy, based on female energy and connection to the emotions. So now the question is, if it's really 6 p.m., so 6:00, then the emotions, the 0, has been brought in as a blocked theme. But this is something that I would check out with a pendulum if it's been really 6 o'clock, or if it was like 6:01, 02, or maybe 03, because then these two would have been brought in. But this is something that I would test either with muscle testing or with a pendulum. So depending on which tools you are working with, this can be tested. Because muscle testing is very like I really love this easy muscle testing version, where you just put your index and thumb together and you put the other index in, and when it's a question that is a no, it will flip through, and when it's a yes, you can hold it. For example, am I a man? No, I'm not a man. Am I a woman? Yeah. So and then I can check. So there was also a question, if people disagree on the birth date, you with your body have been there, and so you can check if this birth date is your birth date or not. So it's very easy. You can also some people prefer to do muscle testing in the way that you feel like just standing and feeling if testing like where's the no, what kind of balancing is the no, what kind of balancing is the yes, and then going into the question, and you will either fall into the no movement or into the yes movement. Or same with a pendulum. I don't have one, so I can use my necklace. And the pendulum doesn't need to be a big fancy pendulum. Actually, each necklace, each keychain can be a pendulum. And holding it with a hand that is not dominant. This is just a crystal. And then asking it to, and this time showing a no. For me, it's always sidewards. And when I want to show a yes, it's starting to rotate. So, and that's very easy. You just have to trust it. And when it's a very, very big yes, it's starting to, I would get it into my face actually, holding it like that. And there you can ask questions. And when you're not sure about your birth time, for example, you can do asking, was I born from midnight to 3? Or let's say, was I born from midnight to noon? It says yes or no. Was I born from noon to midnight? Yes or no. And then you already have half of the day elapsed. Then you can go into like, was I born from midnight to 6 or from 6 to noon? And then you can reduce it and reduce it and reduce it. And then afterwards you come to the minutes. So that's a very easy way to just find the birth date. And you can do that either with the muscle testing or with a pendulum or whatever tool you use. Okay. So also with the spring times come the flies. I have a huge fly in my my room just flying around me the whole time. I think you will not hear it because of Zoom things, but she's really, really busy around me right now. So who else who I see gave me, because I like to get some visual feedback to what I say, otherwise it feels weird to just be talking without getting any response.
Anyone want to come on screen and share their information? Now, KD, you've put quite a lot of information. Do you want to come on screen?
So no?
Anyone else who's not put their information yet want to come on?
You don't need to say anything. I just want to have some. You could also, you know, the reactions. You just can give me some some feedback on that, because it just feels weird to be speaking into the void and saying something about someone, which is also quite personal, and then not having any feedback where that lands at. So I'm just gonna go on. I had, hey, then I'm going on with Juliana. She's the next one in the row in my chat. So, and you just gave me a little bit feedback. So what I see here again, I have a multiple 5, and no, you have a multiple 5 and a multiple 6. So with a 5 as a multiple 5, you've got you've got the energy of a teacher and the authority radiating out. But you also have the 5 as a multiple number, means that there's a topic of authority and I'm just missing a word. And powerlessness. So so this question of power, being in power or feeling powerlessness, is connected to the multiple 5, which means that as well be having the 5 and the 7 in your birth date means that you are somebody who's really independent and you stand on your both feet. But this can also create lots of topics of bullying or difficulties with other people in a working context, because they may perceive you having more power than they would like you to have, even though you may not want to be in power, because you have 5, a multiple 5, because the multiple 5 has a huge potential for leading, guiding, being a spiritual leader. But very often the multiple 5 then also has this tendency of not wanting to be in the power position. So you ask teacher with justice. No, teacher is the 5 is also the teacher. The 5 is the Hierophant, the Pope, which is a spiritual guide, a spiritual authority. And which is all about this inner wisdom, this old wisdom, these mystical connections and the timelessness in there. So these are the things that you bring into life as well. So I'm gonna jump because so many brought your birthday. So I'm just gonna give little jewels. So I have KD. It's the next one in my chat, and then you have again the 3 in the front, but also multiple 3, which is connecting again to the topic of female energy, as I had already described it with Bridget earlier. So I'm not going to go on that point deeper. But you also have the multiple 9. So the multiple 9 is all about speaking. So with the multiple 9, you either speak a lot or you silence totally, because it's about speaking your truth. And the biggest fear of a multiple 9 is really to speak your truth. So either you silence totally, you don't say anything, and you just keep your truth for yourself, or you speak a lot, but you never speak about your truth. So there is it's based on reincarnation, the fear that, or the experience that you did stand for your truth, for what you wanted, and it may have costed your life or other people's life. But anyways, it guides to an experience which made your soul shut up. And this is a pity, because your truth as a multiple 9, always when you have a multiple number, means that there's a lot of potential in there. And to unlock it with healing this past life trauma, you unlock a huge potential to speak, to communicate, and to speak spot on the moment itself, and to bring the truth into the world. So this is what I'd give to Katie. And then I have D here. And again, it's like with Ariel, the multiple 8. So it's a question about the values and what you stand for, and coming from a lot of money and no money and trying to compensate in a lack of worthiness with outside, or with lots of experiences, or lots of whatever. It's a compensation mode of worthiness. And but what you brought as your first number is the 7. And with the 7, you bring a strong energy of independence, of wanting to do yourself, and of being able to do yourself, because this is not blocked. So, and at the same time, what I said already earlier with 5 as well, you have a 5 as the last number. So, they are the stronger, the more they are to the front, and the more subtle, the more they are to the back. So the minutes are more subtle as potential and as being perceived by the outer world than the first one, which in Europe would be the first day, and in American writing, it's the month. So, but with having 7 in the front and 5 at the back, there is a potential that there's like this, like a little Scorpio, I wish to be in power, but which comes from the back. It's a hidden wish for power, and it might not be conscious, but there's this energy of, well, I know better and I could guide better, or I just go my own way, and it's based on this 5 at the back, which is there in the back seat and observes everything, and would like to put some Scorpio in there. I speak from myself because I also have that. I also have the 5 at the back, and I perceived it a lot, that people perceived me as wanting to have the power, wanting to be in power, and then me not being aware of that. But in very precise moments, there was my inner welling up of, well, I can do better. So this might be something that comes in your life as well. So there's a question. So Margaret asked if you would change the month and the date writing, like from American writing to the European writing, if it would change something. Yes, it would. I have a friend who was born in America, and she's born on the 21st of January. And her whole life in America, she was perceived on the base of the 1. So on the base of the magician, I can do that. I can handle, I can do whatever. And then she came to Europe, and people perceived her differently, because in Europe, they perceive her on the base of the 2. So she came into this energy of the high priestess, of being in between the worlds. And she also was in between the worlds because she was an American living in Europe. So it changed how she also felt within herself and how the world perceived her. So it does make a difference. And it does also change, also changes come, for example, when you change your name, it changes something in your appearance. Not only from the name, but also energetically. So this is my little questions, Q&A. I don't know, we are already over an hour. How long are you usually doing your calls? I don't know. I
Yeah,
actually need a sip of
normally,
tea because I've been speaking
normally,
a lot. I'm
yeah,
just going to
normally
silence
an
myself.
hour. Normally an hour, but if people have got questions and you're happy to stay. As you can see, everyone, this is very powerful, and we're obviously just scratching the surface here. I think Michelle Baker wanted to say something.
Hello, you're right. I want to ask Karen, I've looked up numerology a bit. I'm glad you clarified that about the times and everything, because I was getting a bit confused. But when you just said about names, okay, I got married years ago. I'm going through divorce and I'm going back to my maiden name. Am I going to revert back to when I came into this world of my personality? Is it going to revert back, or is it going to change to something different again?
It's going to change to something different again because you are different right now. But at the same time, it's going to bring you back into another energy field also. Because by changing a name, you also change into the energy field, into the auric field of the other family. And so you're going to change back into your own family auric field. And but you have gone through it. It's like a traveler coming back home. It's not the same home, because the traveler has experienced something else and comes back into a home but changed. So the home has changed as well.
For the better. Thank you. It's interesting. Thank you.
Yeah. So, and like, I also want to value the time of people. I just wanted to say that if you would like to buy this course, I actually would love to. Haha. I would like to offer you a discount for this course. The course is 144 euro, but it has something like I don't know how many hours these are. We did this in several days. I think it's something like 10 hours material. So you really get into it. And I would like to give you a discount of 33 euros. So it comes to 111 by using this beautiful code, EnglishMystic. And this code is valuable until the 31st of March. So until end of Easter, so you can go into yourself and check the checkout that Kevin shared there with you, and check the English_mystic, all in big letters. You could have the course, and yeah, I would love to share my wisdom this way, in a deeper way. Now I just went a little bit over your birth dates, but it's really beautiful, and it's actually quite easy because you only need to learn the 10 archetypes and then different ways of applying them. That's really a beautiful way to get the mystical out of the mundane.
Beautiful. Let's send lots of hearts, lots of love. Press those little reaction buttons.
Thank you.
Superb. Yeah, thank you very much for that. I think, as everyone can see, you just got a very thin layer of it there, and the course is amazing. As I say, I was lucky enough to be involved in it when it was first shown by Karen, and I'm always writing down my numbers and adding up my numbers and going, "Oh, what does today mean?" And it's beautiful to play with. So thank you everyone for your time. Obviously this will be sent out to everyone. I think that's like 444 people. So what's 444 going to give us anyway? Another number have registered for this, so I'll be sending that out to everyone, and obviously let them know about the discount code. But Karen, thank you very much for your time. It was lovely to listen to all your wisdom again, and thank you for sharing it with everyone. Hope you all have an amazing rest of your days, and we'll see you again next month. So thank you very much.
Thank
See
you
you
very
all.
much for having me here, and enjoy your days.
It's a
Bye.
pleasure. Monday you all go. See you soon. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.